Hello everyone, in this video we're going to explore topic 4.3 rates of change in applied context other than motion. Alright, let's take a look at the first example from the 2010 AP Calculus exam AB BC question 1. There is no snow on Chinese driveways when snows begin to fall at midnight. From the midnight to 9 a.m. Snow accumulates on the driveway at a rate modeled by ft equals 7 times t times e to the cosine t cubic feet per hour, where t is measured in hours since midnight. Jenny starts removing snow at 6 a.m., which means t was 6. The rate g of t is in cubic feet per hour, at which Jenny removes snow from the driveway at the time t hours after midnight is modeled by the following b-square function. Alright, so keep that in mind. At midnight means t equals 0. Now question A. Find the rate of change of the volume of snow on the driveway at 8 a.m. So in order to find the rate of change of the volume of snow, we're going to take what is added, subtract what is removed, right? So what is added is right here, and what is removed is going to be right here, right? So we have R of t equals the rate of change of the volume of snow equals f of t subtract g of t, right? Now at 8 a.m. which means t equals 8, right? So we have R of 8 equals f of 8 subtract g of 8. Now you're going to substitute values f of 8, which means 7 times 8 times e to the cosine of 8 minus g of 8. 8 is between 7 and 9, so you're going to pick this one right here, right? Subtract 108. Now since this question is calculator active, so you're going to bring up the calculator. First thing you need to do is to store the function, right? So the function is right here. F of t is equal 7 times t times e to the cosine t, right? So in order to store the function, you need to hit f of t, right? Now I hit Control and the button right edge number 9 right here, and then I'm going to hit 7 times t times e to the cosine of t, right? And hit enter. Done. Alright, now you just input the equation right here. F of 8, right? So you need to hit F of 8 and hit enter. The answer is right here. Now you want to convert this one to decimal number. You hit menu, number, convert to decimal, hit enter. The answer is 48.417, and then you subtract this guy from 108, right? Hit enter. The final answer should be negative 59.583, right? Feet per hour, right? The units right here. A penguin population on an island is modeled by a differentiable function p of time t, where p of t represents the number of penguins and t is measured in years. For t from 0 to 40, there are 100,000 penguins on the island at time t equals 0. The birth rate for the penguins on the island is modeled by p of t is equal 1,000 times e raised to the 0.06 t penguins per year. And the death rate for the penguins on the island is modeled by d of t is equals 250 times e raised to the 0.1 t penguins per year. Question A. What is the rate of change of the penguin population on the islands at t equals 0? Alright, now let R of t represent the rate of change of the penguin population on the island, right? And then R of t equals b of t subtract d of t, right? So you need to evaluate this equation at t equals 0, right? We have r of 0 equals b of 0 minus d of 0, right? B of 0, which means 1000 times e raised to the 0, subtract d of 0, which means 250 times e raised to the 0, right? E raised to the 0 equals 1, so it can be 1000 subtract 250, it can be 750, right? Penguins per year. Now let's take a look at example number 3 from the 2017 AP Calculus exam AB and BC. Question 2. When a certain grocery store opens, it has 50 pounds of bananas on a display table. Customers remove bananas from the display table at a rate modeled by this equation, where t is measured in pounds per hour and t is the number of hours after the store opened. After the store has been open for 3 hours, the store employees add bananas to the display table at a rate modeled by g of t, where g of t is measured in pounds per hour and t is the number of hours after the store opened. Now question 8. Find f prime of 7. Using correct units, explain the meaning of f prime of 7 in the context of the problem. Alright, now you're going to bring up the calculator. First, you need to store the equation f of t, right? So you need to hit control this button right here. So you need to hit f of t and hit control this button right here. Alright, so you're going to type 10 plus parenthesis 0.8 times t close parenthesis and hit trick right here, sine of tq over 100. Then hit enter. Done. Now you need to take derivative of this one and calculate the derivative at t equals 7, right? So you need to hit menu, calculus, numerical derivative, right? So the variable should be t. The value should be 7. Then hit OK. Now you need to type f of t right here. Then you hit enter. The answer is negative 8.119, right? Remember, the unit for the function f of t right here is pounds per hour, right? When you take the derivative of this one, it's actually the rate of change of this one. So it should be pounds of bananas per hour. So I can rewrite this one as pounds of bananas per hour square. Keep that in mind. Either way works. Now, explain the meaning of f prime of 7 in the context of the problem. So you need to say the rate at which customers are removing the banana from the table is decreasing, right? Because you have the negative side right here. By 8.119 pounds of banana per hour square. Let's move on to question B. Is the number of pounds of bananas on the display table increasing or decreasing at time t equals 5? Alright, so you need to find the change of g of 5 and f of 5, right? So you're going to bring up the calculator. You need to store the function g, right? G of t. Then hit control this button right here. Then you need to type 3 plus 2.4 times natural log of t squared plus 2t, right? And you hit enter. Since you already store two functions, g of t and f of t, now you just type g of 5 subtract f of 5. Hit enter. The answer is negative 2.2631, right? Now remember that the function g is representing the number of pounds of bananas employee adding, and the function f representing the number of pounds of banana customers removing, right? So when you calculate this one, it's going to be negative. It tells us that the number of pounds of bananas on the tables is decreasing at time t equals 5 hours. And it's your time to stop. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. Remember that if you failing to prepare, you're preparing to fail.
We rise like tall buildings as the chemicals they take us higher. The night's young, it has just begun as she puts her hand in mine.